Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Harry's new book, Spare, is officially released today, and Harry's press tour continued with an appearance on Good Morning America on Monday. We may have reached the part of this saga where Harry has become boring. The Good Morning America piece, coming just hours after 60 Minutes, seemed boring, as if we had already heard all the questions and answers. Meanwhile, in the UK, the ITV interview didn't even win its time slot. Variety reports Harry, the interview, peaked at 4.6 million viewers. BBC drama Happy Valley was watched by 5.3 million. As a comparison, 11.3 million UK viewers watched the Oprah interview. On GMA, Harry discussed Camilla again, this time saying she had a reputation or an image to rehabilitate, and whatever conversations happened, whatever deals or trading was made right at the beginning, she was led to believe that that would be the best way to do it. Harry continued, and I don't have a problem with any member of my family needing to rehabilitate their image. But if that rehabilitation or that relationship with, in this case, the British tabloids, comes at the cost of my girlfriend or my family, my close family or my larger family, then I draw the line at that. I have a huge amount of compassion for her, being the third person within my parents' marriage. She had a reputation or an image to rehabilitate. Whatever conversations happened, whatever deals or trading was made right at the beginning, she was led to believe that that would be the best way of doing it. She's my stepmother. I don't look at her as an evil stepmother. I see someone who's married into this institution and has done everything that she can to improve her own reputation and her own image for her own sake. Harry was asked if he has any responsibility in the breakdown of the relationship with his brother. Without question, sure, but what people don't know is the efforts that I've gone to resolve this privately, both with my brother and with my father. There's always been this competition between us. Weirdly, again, I think it really plays into or is played by the heir Spare, and the press is a part of that. They pitched the Waleses, which Kate and William are now, against the Sussexes, me and my wife. They always pitched us against each other. They pitched Kate and Meghan against each other. Asked if he thought this then made the two women go against each other, he said, yes, without question. Interviewer Michael Strahan asked Harry if the Queen was mad at Harry. Harry initially replied, for what? But then opened up when Strahan quantified, for wanting to change your role. Harry says, no, my grandmother and I had a very good relationship. It was never a surprise to anybody, least of all her. She knew what was going on. She knew how hard it was. She never said to me that she was angry. I think she was sad that it got to that point. I had many, many conversations with her, both in the UK over the years and in the run-up to the point of this change. So it was never a surprise to anybody, least of all her. She knew what was going on. She knew how hard it was. I don't know whether she was in a position to be able to change it. Harry's initial "for what" echoed the sentiment in this exchange with Anderson Cooper, who asked, why not renounce your titles as Duke and Duchess? Harry replied, and what difference would that make? Although the UK TV ratings may have been soft, the New York Times reports the media frenzy seems to be driving interest in the memoir, which is due out Tuesday. Spare held the #1 spot on Amazon in the United States and Britain on Friday, as well as Barnes & Noble. Booksellers and distributors said that the pre-orders are enormous and growing with the avalanche of press coverage. Random House has said it is printing 2.5 million hardcover copies for North America alone. Ingram, the book wholesaler, has 90,000 copies in its warehouses to restock stores that run out. ReaderLink, which distributes books to chain stores like Target and Walmart, said it had ordered about 300,000 copies. Barnes & Noble has also ordered hundreds of thousands of copies. A tweet from the UK's Metro said, Prince Harry told Anderson Cooper that Camilla's willingness to forge relationships with the press made her dangerous. Piers Morgan replied, says the guy forging relationships with Oprah, James Corden, Netflix, Spotify, Penguin, Random House, CBS, and any other media who will pay him dollars to trash his family. We did hear from the royal family on Monday. They tweeted, wishing the Princess of Wales a very happy birthday today. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Some of the reactions from Sunday's interviews. The Express's headline was, Harry finally admits royal family is not racist. Harry said the conversation about Archie's skin colour had been troubling, but added, "But you speak to any other couple, mixed-race couple around the world, and you will probably find that the white side of the family have either openly discussed it or secretly discussed, what are the kids going to look like? And that is part of a, bigger conversation that needs to be had. But to say that that doesn't happen around the rest of the world, but it just happened here, that's not true. But again, for me, the difference is unconscious bias and racism. But if you are called out for unconscious bias, you need to make that right." The Express reported royal insiders were astonished that he had waited since March 2021 to make the couple's view clear, blaming the media for misinterpreting the remarks. Royal editor Robert Hobson tweeted, "Even Tom Bradby seems a little exasperated over Harry's response that Meghan didn't accuse a royal family member of racism during the Oprah interview. Harry's waffling response is simply gobbledygook." Harry was criticised by some for his use of the word fled in his quote, which was, "And if I had stopped by the point that I fled my home country with my wife and my son fearing for our lives, then maybe this would have turned out differently. It's hard." The Mirror shared this reaction of one viewer who said, "Whilst I disagree with how this country has treated Harry and Meghan, I do think that saying I fled my home country with my wife and son, fearing for our lives, is insensitive given how many people are fleeing their home countries daily due to war and persecution." Another wrote, "Really crass for Harry to say I fled my home country when so many refugees flee real danger." And in the week that he himself grubbily grabbed attention and made himself a target by bragging about Afghanistan, Piers Morgan tweeted, "Never seen an unhappier, happy man in my life. Prince Harry's a bitter, delusional, paranoid, family-trashing half-wit, exposing and exploiting the royals' most personal secrets for gazillions whilst wanging on with jaw-dropping hypocrisy about media intrusion. He's pathetic." But perhaps the best reaction of all was from Twitter user Paul, who tweeted, "I never thought I'd miss hearing about Brexit and COVID." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalacintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.
All right, here's the pitch. 5 stories, they're all good news. It's called 5 Good News Stories. No negative news, just good news. Nice, easy way to start your day. Hopefully a smile. Hi, I'm Johnny Mack, host of 5 Good News Stories. You get the premise? There's 5 stories, and they're all good news. It's the number 5 Good News Stories. 5 Good News Stories. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts.